Yeah.
Roll call, please. So this special meeting of the Jackson County Library District Board is now called to order at about 4:35 or 6 or something like that. 4:33. So I won't get places late.
Susan Kiefer,
Here.
Eden
Here.
Jensen,
Here.
Marta Teranzi, present. Mrs. Shepherd,
Present.
Okay. All right. The Jackson County Library Services acknowledges that its libraries are located within the traditional lands of the Shasta, Takelma, and Latgawa people whose descendants are now identified as members of the Confederated Tribes of Siletz Indians and the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde, as well as the Cow Creek Band of Umpqua Tribe of Indians and the Modoc Nation, who were forced to relocate to Oklahoma. See, this one is different. We take this moment to recognize that the indigenous people whose traditional lands are where residents of Jackson County live today. JCLS is committed to fostering understanding, deep respect, and honor for the indigenous people, and we encourage you to learn more about the land you reside on. For more information, go to jcls.org/land. Right. So the first item on our agenda is to discuss the candidates we talked to on Friday. Who would like to start?
Well, I would like to start by again thanking Brent for putting together these wonderful packets and I was on the Bishop participating. It's very
You had your hand up, please.
Thank you. I just wanted to point out that while the scores are offered in a tallied way for each of the three candidates, something that I've done before in a public sector planning process is just go through and see how many folks rated a particular candidate as a highest ranking one, how many folks rated a candidate as second ranking one, and third ranking one. So
We do have the broken out scores off.
right, but we can actually just do that from the first page. So that's the analysis that will be guiding me, not the totals, not the 200 something points, rather, but how many of us rank somebody as 1, 2, and 3.
And oh, you were next, Kevin.
No, go ahead, please.
I was just gonna say that if my understanding is correct, we're not doing it based solely on these rankings, correct? This is one criteria that we're using to help make a decision.
That's my understanding.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was rather straightforward, actually. We were just gonna basically, we have scored them, we've listened to feedback at the interview, we had the opportunity to ask the questions. I don't really see what else we're doing. I mean, like, you want to rate them on each question.
Now, 200 plus points for each of them means nothing to me because I may have been scoring higher or lower than you all because we may have a different baseline. So say one of the candidates has more than one of us rating them as third out of third. That's what I'm saying.
Well, don't we individually we rank them as well, right? Each column shows how.
Yes, and what I'm saying is that's what I'm looking at.
Oh, okay, I see. All right.
We're on the same page.
Thank you.
And you will note that this is why a very popular teacher, I'm a high grader, so I gave pretty high scores to everybody to your point. I like them. All three candidates are fabulous.
They were all very qualified, I thought.
Other feedback that we have received included feedback from the administrative team.
We did
Several emails came in with amazing rationale and calculus and analysis.
and from some staff who are not on the administrative team,
Gretchen?
and from I'm trying to think if I might have gotten one from a non-staff member too. Wonderful. Since we had lots of people watching. The, Marta or Marissa, do you have comments you would like to make?
I mean, I don't know how specific we're ready to get. For me, I kind of have like the top two candidates that kind of came to my mind, especially with the feedback and the scoring. But yeah, I mean, I'm leaning between either Josh or Frank. I don't know where other people are at. I don't have the ratings in front of me to see like the 1, 2, 3, like Marta was suggesting.
Take a picture of it and send it to you, Mark. My phone's off. So.
I'll do it.
It's gonna come to you now, Marissa, from Marta.
Ignore the doodles and the notes.
Can you email it to her?
I can, I was just
Why don't we just
asking, I don't know
email it
what
to her?
I'll just,
is it okay for you or?
I'll just,
That's right, you have it scanned.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh.
We'll send you the pack. Billy's gonna send you the packet, Marissa.
Like
Thank you.
20%.
yeah, but you have the scores now. I think the feedback is going to be a crucial determinant for me. Feedback from staff and emails received. The context is huge. I think the interviews showed that all three candidates are. We would be tremendously lucky to have any of them. Lending their skills, talents, and insights to the interim position. The feedback is going to be a very heavily weighted factor in my mind.
I'm not sure how fair that is, though, honestly, since we didn't solicit feedback from the general public, for instance, or anyone else, so the other two candidates didn't really have an opportunity to have people lobby for them.
The
That's a good
other two
point.
candidates withdrew.
No, I'm speaking about Frank and
Not
Robert.
everybody that I read preferred Josh, actually. But most of them
All
did.
but one. They like them.
Okay.
Well, but to your point is that we didn't ask people from the general public to say whether they thought that Frank or Robert would be a better candidate. I mean, that's a fair statement.
I mean, one of the things that we talked about prior to our interviews was that we might decide to pick two of these, what was originally going to be 5, and do an in-person interview.
Oh, that's right.
And one of the things I think we ought to talk about is whether that is something we would like to do or not do.
It's open to discussion. I don't think it's necessary, honestly, and it's just yet another delay, and I'd love to have this thing. I mean, not just for me, not just because I don't want to come here every 2 times a week, but it's really a matter of we need to get a leader in now, I think, and we're way past due, in my opinion. And we can decide, so I think we should decide.
I agree.
You agree?
Yeah, I'm kind of with y'all as well that we need a leader. And I mean, the feedback, and I kind of agree that it's like we don't really have an ideal candidate here, but we just do need an interim for stability, and so that we can do a proper search for a director.
Well, when I was looking at my notes after the interviews and running my scores, I had Frank and Josh rank very closely together, up both at the top. And one of the things that I've been thinking about is, I mean, I understand that Josh brings lots of internal familiarity and the confidence of his coworkers, and that he is well qualified for this job. The one thing that mitigates against Josh for me, not because I don't think he would do a good job, but Josh has a job here that is that is an important job, and he will be distracted from that job while he's doing this job if we appoint him to this job. So that would be a consideration for me.
Mhm.
Do you want to add something?
Yes.
Subtract something?
I would like to add that if a candidate put their candidacy forth, the crucialness of their current role should not be management's immediate consideration unless it's one of the essential functions like they have at ODOT in terms of crisis, for example. So that's what I'd like to add. Weighing candidates' immediate roles is something a hiring panel for an internal position may weigh when it's lateral or a shift. This is a special circumstance, in my understanding.
It is. I don't question that.
I believe that Josh's role as community engagement manager is probably more critical than it's ever been, especially as we go through the next few months. I think it is vital to have somebody who is so well respected by his peers, who is making great strides in communicating with the community, with the media. I would suggest that his role is probably more important than it ever has been, but it already was.
Kevin?
I think they all interviewed well. I think Josh interviewed very well. I think he could do the job. But I would have to say, I mean, he's doing a great job where he is, and to take him out of that and put him into a temporary position. And then I assume when that period is off, and if we were to get a permanent director, we would push him back into that job, which means basically that we would not fill that position of communications director. And I think that is not as ideal as having an interim. I was actually looking for someone from the outside because we've got problems that I think an outsider would be better suited to manage for a short term and then be gone. And we've talked about that. Frank is not going to, or Frank or Robert would not be staying in this position. I think that gives them some freedom that Josh may feel peer pressure to do things, you know, or because he's so well liked and that kind of thing. I just think it's a better, cleaner situation to have Josh remain where he is and have an interim director from the outside.
I will say that in reading the very well thought out emails that were sent to us today from a variety of people, I would suggest that a couple of the concerns, though, one of them that I read that was a common concern was that if it was a candidate other than Josh is already here and he knows the system. I would suggest that when Josh was hired, he hadn't been here before, didn't know the system. He learned it pretty fast, didn't he? And anytime that unless you're an internal candidate who's been promoted, you're expected within, I think, the first week to do the job that you were hired for and you're being paid for. And so while I understand the reasoning behind that, I think that if it's a candidate other than Josh, that person is going to be expected to step in and be able to do the job basically immediately, or that person shouldn't be the one that we choose.
Yes. Prior to the role I have now and prior to the role I had prior to that, I was doing an absolutely amazing job. And both of those roles were pretty difficult to fill. And so I really don't agree with analysis of, we really need a body who's fully capable in this position. So that analysis is just not sitting well with me.
You mean the part about how quickly they would be able to learn the job?
No, just.
I didn't understand either.
Oh, okay, I'll be very, very direct then. Kevin, when you say, we really need somebody in that position and
In the
they're
position
great
of communications
and they're
director?
great where they are, yes.
Yeah.
That is an analysis that overall just doesn't sit with me because it could have easily been applied to my candidacies for my previous roles, I would not have reacted very well if that's how my hiring committee thought about
But those were permanent roles you were moving into, weren't they?
they were new to the organization, and so they could always have been not as permanent. So, also, we didn't know that there was an internal candidate until Mary Kay came here and interviewed folks in person, and that's easily on us for not having done, I know I did not do my due diligence in, thoroughly vetting interest from the existing team. I also was a huge proponent of the external candidacy. We had a great qualified internal candidate emerge. I had a hand in writing the position description, and so with feedback, the relationship between the board and the interim is more or less described here. I think it will be even more described in a contract, and so when someone applies for a position, I believe that it's a fair consideration to all who applied. We must give fair consideration to all who applied, regardless of what they're doing now.
I
I agree with
Sure.
that.
I may have gotten wordy, it's been a long day, I'm sorry.
the can't find her on the screen. Oh, there she is up there at the top.
She's waiting up.
She is, but she doesn't have her hand up. So, well then, how would you like to proceed?
We reach consensus whether we have a top two or we have a top candidate.
I would say we definitely have a top two.
I'm sorry, you say choose two and interview them, or you mean?
Well, I think that we have a top two. I will be so bold as to say for myself that, based on everything that I've heard and the comments that were submitted to us today, that, I believe that we need to eliminate Robert Field from, consideration for the role of interim director.
Right?
One down.
He was Marta's top candidate. Do you want to argue it in his behalf?
Yes, scoring one, absolutely. Yes. The experience negotiating a labor contract was, for me, a heavily weighted score. That said, stability that comes with having an internally overwhelmingly endorsed candidate can set a very positive environment for pursuing that contract negotiation. That's where the flip on my part is coming from.
I'm gonna go ahead and share what, for everyone, what my concern is. And please know that this is coming from a true place of love and caring. I think so highly of Josh. The old saying used to be, he's an up and come. Well positioned from leadership, from compassion, from your heart. However, I don't think that you quite yet have the experience. And I'm concerned that the worst thing you can do to somebody is to position them for failure. And I'm afraid that that would be what we were doing.
Marissa, want to say? Marissa, you want to chime in?
I'm pretty
Okay.
torn between Josh and Frank. I really like Josh. I honestly think he did the best interview because of just how specific he was. And I really like when people get specific in their interviews. My biggest concern with Josh is that I don't know how he'd be able to handle the HR investigation. And I mean, I really just don't know.
You're breaking up.
I think she's talking about the personnel.
I get what she's talking about, but I can't.
Can't hear you, Marissa.
Yeah, but then I was just saying that that's why I kind of wanted an outside candidate like Frank, but like I said, it's just kind of tough because Frank doesn't have the library experience. So again, there's no ideal candidate here.
Frank doesn't have the library experience, but he's surrounded by a very competent, talented administrative team that are handling the library stuff now, which was my thought about that part, Patty.
And I think it's really important, that please, we remember. We're talking about, one of the things that we're looking at is personnel management, not HR. And let's quit calling it HR because that seems to imply a
Right.
specific person or a specific role, and that's not what it's about.
Thank you.
So I just want to remind us all.
That's true.
One of the things that's been alleged by several emails was that there's an intimidation effect, or maybe some kind of a situation where people don't want to speak out or they feel pressured. So honestly, when I see all these emails come in a big pack from a bunch of people that say almost virtually the same thing, it honestly felt as if there was some coercion there, some sort of a, hey, let's all get together and do this, and you better not, jump off the ship, or better not deviate from the common line. And I think that worries me. And so I, from the beginning, I've been in favor of someone from the outside coming in here. I think it's really important when we have several investigations going on that we don't have somebody who's at all involved in that, even to the slight extent that the judge would be. I think it's extremely important to get someone from the outside for that very reason.
Mhm. To me, even out of this discussion, Josh is still emerging as a top candidate. I had some driving time today. I had some time to think, which is good. Today, we are contemplating the hiring of an interim director for the library and for the district. We're not hiring an interim director for the board. The district's existing employees and at least one external voice have spoken in favor of this candidate who is qualified. So seeing how we're hiring an intern for the library, that's where that's coming from. The board has a wish list. It was put before the candidates. And all three interviewed very well. Marisa said, we don't have an ideal candidate. No, we have 3 candidates that are very ideal for a specific set of tasks. On this one, I'm inclined to go with the feedback from the library. And I also received feedback directly about Josh's management capabilities also,
Which is excellent. I do want to,
in a good way.
share that I, have a different perspective. I don't believe that we are hiring somebody to run the library at all. I believe that we're hiring someone in an interim position to help us as we go through the next couple months to find out where we can improve and go, and if we need to go in a new direction. We have an incredibly capable senior leadership team that is running the library. So I see it differently than you do that way. Certainly, I learned working in, I forgot about this, I worked in 2 different HR departments. We're never supposed to use the word permanent, right? Our jobs are permanent,
Correct.
but whatever we want to call the person who will be the long-term director, sure as heck better be really fabulous at libraries. But I think right now, we have the team that is in place that is running this library system beautifully.
She can see you.
Okay, yeah, one last thing.
Mhm.
I agree with Patty, and I disagree with people that say we need a library person for the interim director position. Our wish list, or our list of important things that are really budget, union, and investigation management. And you don't need library experience to do any of those three things. I understand that and I believe that Josh is a great person, great manager, does well. And hopefully he remains in that position for a while and can apply for the permanent director position if necessary. But for this position, this time, I really think we need to go with somebody with a ton of experience in management. And a person that's hired and fired people, person that's done several years worth of budgets. And you know, Robert has a lot of union experience and that certainly works in his favor. Frank does not, but
I would also like to share that to me, the two top candidates, Frank and Josh, is that what really stood out to me is that, you don't become a librarian, you don't become a teacher or a firefighter or a police officer if you don't have an incredibly caring heart and care about your community. And that shone through for me with Frank and Josh. I believe that Frank's desire to serve in this position, as is Josh's, truly is altruistic. It's not about the money. It's about how can we ensure that this library system and library district moves forward successfully into the future. And so I just want to say that, you know, you have hard skills. So maybe think of it, what you're talking about, those are hard skills, but you have to have soft skills too. And I believe the two top candidates absolutely have soft skills that in some ways for me are almost, well, they're certainly as important.
But we need to distinguish between the two top candidates. So,
Well, if you wanna push it out, we could do we could push, I mean, I'm not against interviewing them again, but, you know,
I don't know that anything would change.
oh,
I think we're gonna have the same discussion after, if we did another round of interviews that we're having this minute.
yes,
What
there's a
I,
lot of truth to that.
that's what I. So it seems to me that we are sitting here going, well, do we want to flip a coin? Probably we don't want to. I think the way we resolve this is we put a motion on the table and vote on it. But maybe we're not ready to do that yet, but I don't want to rush things, but I also feel like we're going a bit in a circle. And if we're going in a circle, the way I see to redirect us out of the circle is to put one or the other of these candidates on the table and see what happens. But perhaps we're not ready to do that yet. If we are,
Marissa, what do you think?
I mean, I'm still of the opinion that Josh or Frank would be a good candidate. Again, whichever ways the board is kind of leading.
right?
I move we hire Frank Phillips as the interim director of the Jackson County Library District.
Can I,
Motion adjustment.
I'll
okay,
accept the
maybe,
friendly amendment, perhaps.
A friendly amendment, yes.
see if you're gonna offer the same one I'm gonna offer.
Move to direct the board council and the HR department to move forward with hiring a person.
To at least offer the position.
Yes,
Yes.
next.
I would
I mean, but
As amended.
Thank you.
What do you have?
that was, we're not gonna hire him, we're gonna offer him. the
They're not hiring
job.
me for.
We have to see if,
All right.
we have to see if he
Trust the
can
process.
come to an agreement
Steps in the process.
with whoever we.
Is there a second?
I will second that motion.
Now, so
Is there further discussion? Marta, you're leading.
We have not, is the chair making a conscious decision not to indicate their preference? Right now?
I've sort of said what. I have this kind of the same position that Marissa has. I mean, I like both the top two candidates and
They all do.
I'm. We all,
You're right, we all do. So I thought you were gonna say maybe they could be co.
yeah, well, no,
Oh,
we're not going there. That's just, well, at least that.
Try not to split the baby there.
So,
Good one.
so we should call the question. Maybe we should start voting at the other end this time.
Marissa Shepherd,
I'm sorry,
It's been moved and seconded that we offered the job to Frank Phillips.
I'm sorry to you cut out. I'm so sorry.
It has been moved and seconded to make the offer to Frank Phillips.
Okay, so yes, sorry.
Okay.
Mhm.
Did you vote? Yes? What did you say? Are you voting?
Yes, I said yes. I vote yes.
All right.
Marta Teranzi,
I vote yes.
Patty Jensen,
Yes.
Kevin Keating,
yes.
Susan Keeper.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously at 5:05 PM.
The motion passes. So. To move forward. We need to involve Jacqueline in coming up with a contract. We need to have a discussion with Mr. Phillips too. And so do we want a team of, how do we want to work this next stage of getting to? Yes.
I would suggest, Bryn, can you handle doing this? For the, I mean, the contract, if Jackie has to be involved. I mean,
Oh, she absolutely has to.
no, all right, but I mean, I'm just saying, our HR director should probably handle the rest, right? Or unless we're gonna talk salary, for instance, or.
Well, I think that's, I don't. I actually, other than dealing with the paperwork, I'm not sure I think Bryn has much role, because I think mostly we have to talk to the lawyer and the candidate.
Mhm.
And come to a meeting of the minds and then work on the contract.
The special consultant from SDAO who was able to join us in person
Yes.
recently, thank you, may be able to point us in a matter of 3 sentences on this also. So I would definitely be in touch with Jacqueline. She could be prepared already to move forward.
She was going to
Contract?
start working on a contract. I don't
Yes.
know how far she's got. I don't know if it's ready yet, but she was. And the contract will have to come back by the board to see if it passes. We have to we have to approve the contract.
Yes, I just want to make sure just,
She
you know,
has
to
that.
keep trusting the process. This is incorporated.
No, I'm
Okay.
saying you're making sure that, you
Yes.
want to make sure that she has that.
Yes. There is a document we've been referring to and candidates have been referring to.
I think I forwarded it to her, but I can't swear that I did,
Just,
actually. But we can certainly see that she gets one.
okay. But yeah, I think the SDO consultant will be able to point us in 30 seconds to make sure we don't miss anything. And we're going to be following a procurement that we as a special district are allowed to do for that special contract.
Yes.
So that's where her insights will be crucial also. It's more than a handshake, it's a special contract, and so Jacqueline in concert with her will be able to help us with that.
What things do we need to decide? I assume salary and I assume start date? I mean, as soon
I
as
assume we
possible.
want as soon as possible start date. We
Mhm.
need a salary. We need a,
We can talk salary today, I think.
Oh,
well,
compensation
we
range?
might. Yes, but I mean. I think we need to at least talk to him. Well, we could talk about what we're gonna offer.
Well, all due respect, we're not gonna ask him, right? I mean, we would come
We
up with
would
a number
we
and
would
offer
come
that.
up with a number and offer that.
Okay, good.
Do you wanna do that now?
I do.
I think that's probably a good idea. We need, that's something that. We have to have that in order to talk to him, so
Is the range that was
it
given?
was 8,500 to 10 a month. Yes,
I would like to move that we set the salary at 10,000 a month. And the reason for that is that, I don't have to give a reason,
The reason is good.
because everyone, it's public what the previous director was making. You know, if we're gonna get a solid person, I don't think any less than that would be appropriate.
well,
I mean,
we know who the person is that's going to receive the offer. We know that he's retired. And I don't know what his feeling about the money is. I might start low actually and see if that would work. Since he's done working for a living, one would think anyway. Marta?
I was gonna suggest 9,000, and the reason is that. Certainly when you get a range in your offered a position. You often think, well, if I was your best candidate, why don't you give me the best money, right? I mean, I understand that. On the other hand, again, I'll go back to, I think for Frank. He's doing his civic duty, and I think if it was 9,000 or 10,000, probably doesn't maybe matter that much to him. That's probably unfair for me to say. We all need money to live on, but I would start with 9,000, and he can negotiate higher if he wants, can he not?
Yeah, he can. Marta?
I'm in favor of starting with 9 because of the cost to district in terms of legal support and SDO support that comes with hiring for this position. That's the logic that I'd rather approach it with,
Mhm.
rather than making assumptions about where somebody's in their professional stage of the work life. And so 9 is what I would go for. I will also say that in my other board service, I've had a chance to look at executive director compensation among not-for-profits in Oregon, a document released by the Not-for-Profit Association of Oregon. Granted, it was 2 years, but I've been following cost of life adjustments very closely. So that's where the 9 is coming from.
All right,
And
Marissa,
your
do you have
reasoning
a?
is very good.
Marissa disappeared. Oh, no, she's in the middle. It keeps moving around. Marissa, do you want to weigh in on the salary figure?
Maybe no.
While we're waiting, Kevin?
I hear what you're saying, Patty, and I hear what you're saying, Marta, but we are. I think it's just a little bit disingenuous that for us to say, we're gonna set it at 9 and then negotiate a little bit, it's like. The person that we're talking about is extremely experienced, has a ton of, relevant skills on this thing. We're asking this person to do a really good job. We want a great job, right? And to quibble over $1,000 is really, I don't think it's productive. I think it could be, I'm not making any aspersions on Frank. I think it could be insulting to be talking salary and open discussion and say, well, he's not worth 10, he's worth 9.
Well, your reasoning was much better than mine for certain, and I want to withdraw my reasoning. However, having said that, I was really struck and put it in my notes that Frank said, I know that this position might some days take 15, 16 hours a day, and I'm willing to work that hard to do it. We're not hiring him at an hourly scale. We're hiring him at we're hiring him for compensating him for his knowledge and experience and the job that he's gonna perform, so. So I just went back on what I said earlier.
Good for you.
And I'm not on Instagram, I'm texting Marisa to see if she wants me to put her on speaker.
Yeah,
What do you think?
Yeah,
I think it. I don't have really strong feelings one way or the other, so I would. Would like to make a motion.
I move that we started the top range. Person that we're speaking about was already making more than this when he did retire. And the job is certainly worth it. I'm sure this person will do an excellent job. And so, yeah, I would be in favor of going with the 10,000. I probably would have paid more. And we did have two candidates that, withdrew at the last minute. I have a hunch it was salary, regardless of the fact that I
One
didn't say that.
said time, and Frank specifically said he'd give more time than one might expect, and the other one was because of salary.
One was, oh, anyway,
I didn't know that.
it doesn't matter why they withdrew, they are not under consideration.
Right, so that's my motion.
I'll second that motion.
All right, further discussion? You want to weigh in, Marissa? Are you there?
So she's having conversations.
You're having, okay.
She can chat it in, maybe.
You want to put something in the chat if you have a comment, or are you ready to vote?
I mean, I'm fine voting, because, I mean, you said that he can renegotiate if he doesn't like it, so.
While the motion on the table, just to get the Robert's Rules of Order process out there,
Yes.
I'd like to make an alternative motion, because it's in the discussion that it comes in.
Okay,
And then if it dies, we go to the range proposed, from my understanding of Robert's Rules of Order.
all right.
While the discussion is open,
You're gonna make a separate motion?
yes, I'd like a motion amendment.
Amendment, okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to 9. We'll see if that gets discussed. If it's a no, then we'll vote on the 10. That is my understanding.
So I won't accept that.
Perfect. That's okay. I would like to make a friendly amendment to the motion to start negotiation 10 or 9, sorry.
No,
Thank you for your consideration.
All right,
Discussion.
any further discussion? Call a roll?
Susan Keeper,
No.
Kevin Keating,
yes,
Patty Jensen,
Yes.
Marta Terenzi,
Yes.
Marissa Shepherd,
I'm afraid she's dropped off. She was in between locations.
well, that's awkward. I'm gonna turn this off, she's stressing me.
In the waiting room. Oh, she's in the waiting, can you admit her?
taking a second.
Your call has.
There she is.
Are you voting yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So. It has. Been approved 4-1 to offer Frank Phillips. $10,000 a month for this position. We need.
May I add something?
Yes.
I just think it's important for everyone to understand, this does not include any benefits.
No,
So there's no health insurance, no,
Right.
vacation day paid, it's a flat.
He would be, assuming this comes to fruition, he will be an independent contractor. Right. And provide his own.
I just want to make sure everyone understood that.
So. Do you want to authorize me to be the go-between and get Jacqueline and. And move ahead with this offer?
I'm inclined to say yes, but we don't need to vote on it because it can be a board consensus about which one of us gets delegated to oversee that.
We can do that, if you would like to designate.
I'm happy with you.
Yeah.
Personally.
I'm delighted to hear you.
I'm also happy with you and I think you can do this.
Yeah. Just a question,
Yeah.
then can we give her the approval to have the contract signed?
No, well, no,
Or we
have
don't
to-
have to wait till an open meeting to do that too?
I believe we have, I will get back to
Check
you
with that. that'd be
with
great.
that,
Yeah.
but I believe that we can't sign a contract for this amount, depending on how many months.
Right, I mean,
It,
yeah,
I think the board has to vote to approve the
I
contract.
think,
It depends.
yeah,
It's up to.
Then I think
It's up
it
to
would be,
50, so if it's,
oh, go ahead, Kevin.
I'm sorry, could we authorize you? I'm gonna throw this out there, I'm not sure we can do it or not, can we authorize you or give you an authorization temporarily for this motion? To go up to, what, $100,000 for the duration of the contract?
the,
Cause it's not gonna go over a year anyway.
Well,
I'm just trying to
I think
make
there
it so
might
we
be
can
two
get this done
different things
quickly.
here, but, so I'm probably misunderstanding, I apologize. Certainly, though, the whole board needs to review the contract.
exactly,
Before
the board
someone
is gonna
signs
have
it.
to vote on the contract.
Right.
I do not see any way that
Why-
that wouldn't be a requirement.
It wouldn't be wise.
Well, and I'm pretty sure it's a statutory requirement.
I see where Kevin is going with this. I suggest let's not put anything in place on March 10th until we see the contract. That way we don't have another thing to go back and amend, like to amend a motion from March 10th. Let's wait until we see the contract, but I hear you, you're saying not to exceed a certain amount, not necessarily so many months, but a certain amount in its totality as far as expenditure and interim rate. I hear you. I don't think we should be doing it today.
I think it will, I think our legal counsel
We'll figure out a way. All right.
will require us to vote on this contract,
Oh, yeah.
so.
So,
I will,
then,
what, if you want to authorize me to proceed, I will proceed with the idea that this is to be done with all deliberate speed. And we'll make it happen as soon as we can. First, we have to find out if we have a willing candidate.
So are you gonna call him?
Well, first I'm gonna talk to the lawyer. Okay.
And Dan's DAO consultant.
And, but I will do it all tomorrow. Right. See how far I can get tomorrow.
I'm just thinking that,
We actually have a board meeting.
it is always, I'm just gonna suggest that, and the reason I bring that up is that, it's unfortunate if, you read about that you've lost your job first in the news, but it's still not the best way to learn that you got the job in the news. So I would suggest before all these fabulous media people.
Somebody just text him.
Cause this is an
I can
open
text him.
meeting, they can post it in the next hour,
So
so.
they can post that we voted to offer the job. They can't post anything more than that.
I know, but I just think it would be nicer. if you
Well,
heard
it'd be
it.
nice if they didn't, but
We're texting. We're
I
good.
can't imagine.
It also could be guest. Now.
It
Could be what?
Somebody named guest on the call, and I hope it is.
Oh. Anyways, you do what you gotta do. Don't need our approval.
When is our next regularly scheduled meeting?
Oh, God.
I believe it's.
Next Wednesday.
It's not, I was thinking it was tomorrow, but it's not tomorrow. It's a week from tomorrow.
So it would be a week before we all see each other again.
Oh, wouldn't that be just heartbreaking?
Finally.
Not that I'm not thrilled to see you guys,
I'll be
but
over
every
here.
other minute, but
Okay, just checking. Wanted to make sure. And it's all being properly noticed and such because it's a
Well,
regularly scheduled.
I will, well, that has been properly noticed. If we need something before then, I will get back to you and see if we. But my thought is if we can get all this done by next week, we could have somebody in place very shortly.
And it will be helpful for the, district internal team to know, the projected start date because of the laptop being set up, usernames.
Yeah, we got, once we get there, that'll all happen. With,
Just don't wanna walk up somebody to your door being like, okay, they're in, that sort of thing. And their orientation, that sort of thing. Perfect. Yep. Right?
This was, I will say it again, that, all the blessings bestowed upon us that we had really incredible candidates.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah. We did have 3 variously ideal candidates. I just said, so, and I'm really glad that we went through the process that we went through. And it required candidates to really put themselves out there. Looking back, I'm content with the process. So far,
I think everyone gave really good opinions. I'm glad that we have been comfortable.
And while we're still recording, I want to, I realize that often after the meeting and everybody else has gone away, that we'll say, thank you, Yoli, for staying late. And thank you, everyone, for all you're doing to fill in during this extremely difficult time. But don't say it publicly.
Yeah.
So I want to say right now, each of you can say your own, but thank you. Thank you for all that you do. It is appreciated. Absolutely. And you'll leave.
anything more?
else?
no,
Did we come up with the start date, just like as soon as possible, is that what we're saying?
ASAP is so indefinite. Let's put a date on it. If he can make it, he can. If he can't, he can't. But
He said he could.
Let me
start
get
it.
a contract going.
all
We'll get
right.
us-
Saying, I'm not a big fan of ASAP.
This meeting stands adjourned.
thank you.